Good evening, ladies, and happy Wednesday to you.
Hey, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
We've got another episode of Real Chill Conversations going down tonight. I know last week we were on a little hiatus, a little mini vacation, but we are back with another dope episode for y'all. I like that the conversations we've been having of late because we're really seeming to get a lot of involvement with our listeners and people that are supporting the podcast. And I feel like the topics that we're choosing to talk about are things that people are interested in talking about, but they may not know how to approach the topic or approach the conversation. I also like the fact that we get into some things that, are debatable and might be a little bit controversial. So tonight, I'd like us to talk about whether or not sexiness equals being promiscuous, or if being sexy equals promiscuity. Now, promiscuity, the true definition of promiscuity is someone that sleeps around, has a lot of sex with multiple people, multiple partners, is not really caring about monogamy, not really caring about commitment, just whenever they're DTF. And my question to you all is, are we putting ourselves in a box, and are we not us giving ourselves a label, but is society giving us a label if we choose and desire to dress a certain way that reflects the confidence that we have in our body, no matter what size and shape we are? But if you're confident with your figure and you want to wear that Fashion Nova dress or whatever these other boutiques are online that accent your curves and everything else, does that make you a fast ass girl? And I really disagree with this. I have a really hard time when people say that, oh, well, the dudes was hitting on her in the club and they was, giving her all that attention because of how she looked and how she dressed, and she was asking for it. I think that's false. And I think we really need to address that narrative that just because I know that I look good, and most of the times when women are getting dressed, we're getting dressed for ourselves, but a lot of times we're getting dressed for the other women, not for the other dudes that are out there. And so I want to know your thoughts on that. Not what do you think? What's your take on this?
Natalie, unmute yourself.
So, thank you, Dominique. Ooh. Um, Personally, I can see it both ways. I like to wear fitted clothes because, I ain't really working with too much. So, hey, let me show a little something is what I figure. But I also do like to be comfortable, sweat, sneaks, and whatnot. I think it's just situational. I get the lady, or I get the people that say, um, not necessarily that she's asking for it. That's a little far fetched because it's like when you go out and you get dressed, you don't know who you're going to see. So you're not necessarily putting that on just for the guy, the mailman at the corner. But I know personally, I don't, it's just situational. Like if I know I'm going somewhere like Discount Tire, I'm not going to wear short shorts and my boobs are not going to be out because this is not for my goodies, are not for these men over here to see. If I'm pulling
Right.
up on my dude, okay, that's different. So I think it's situational. I don't think that equates to her being hoish. I think it just, as a classy woman, you just have to do things in moderation and just be mindful of who might be there. I know I was at Margaritaville like 2 summers ago on a family vacation, and it looked like, a lot of people were there on family vacations, and it was a young girl. She had to be like 18, 19. She was with her family, her younger sister, and she had on a thong bikini, and me and my mom were just like, okay, that's, a little weird because this is like a family establishment and she's with her family. Like I understand if she was with her friends, okay, that was something different. But it's just depending on the situation, it can be a little weird if you're showing too much. But by all means, confidence, show it off, flaunt it if you got it, but just be mindful of what could come with it.
I don't come from a place where going on a family vacation would equal me wearing a thong bikini. Now, if I was going on a couples trip and it's just my husband and I, that's a different story. But if we're taking the kids down to Orlando or Destin or something like that, I'm not saying I necessarily got to wear a mom bikini and I'm all the way wrapped up, but I'm definitely not wearing a thong parading around on the beach with my family. I just don't think that that's appropriate.
Yeah.
And the message though, and where it think it gets kind of, caught up and confusing is that this girl that you mentioned in your example, Natalie, was with her family. Like, why wouldn't, her parents say something to her about what she was wearing? Like, hey, this is with the family, your cousins, your uncles, your brothers, whoever else, was going to be there. Not to say that they're going to do anything inappropriate, but it's just, there's just a time and a place, I think, for everything. And like you were saying, you're not going to, ass out and boobs out when you go on a discount tire. But if you're going to run an errand and you got on, a little pair of shorts and a crop top, like I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. I do want to be comfortable if I'm going out and I'm running errands. And if that happens to be what I put on, no, it's not my club attire, but it's also not me, covering up in 8,000 layers of clothing just so that I don't attract any attention to what I happen to be wearing. Because honestly, if a man is going to be attracted to you, he's going to be attracted to you wearing a muumuu. It's really not going to matter what you have on. If he likes how you look and he's trying to holler, he gonna holler at you, even when you feel like you don't look your best and you're not wearing your sexiest of clothes. Dominique, what do you think about this whole situation with sexiness and it equating to being promiscuous or being fast?
I see it in a totally different view. I mean, people are free to wear whatever they want to wear. Yes, I get it. Some people say, well, it's a place and time for everything. But when I think about promiscuous, I'm thinking about having multiple sex partners. So
Mhm.
it's like, is sexy equaling to promiscuous? And I don't agree with that. I mean, yes, beauty brings opportunity, but it also brings selectiveness. A regular person that may not dress provocative and, show off their body or anything like that, they may be promiscuous.
Right,
So that's
right.
just my opinion.
Absolutely. Edwina, what's your opinion on this?
Um, Actually, I would agree both with Natalie and Dominique. I see where Natalie is coming from, where it's a place and time to wear a certain outfit. Um, like when she said when she goes to the car dealership, she's not gonna wear something with her boobs out. Um, but I have noticed when I go out to certain nightclubs, like Dominique said, you can wear what you want to wear, but if you're that type of woman that's going to wear something see-through and like your actual nipples are showing or your pocketbook is showing, I think that's trying to draw attention. Yes, I said pocket.
That's your pocketbook.
Yes, I said pocketbook is showing. It's like you're drawing that attention from somebody. You're to me because you have.
But I mean, what's wrong with the attention though?
You want somebody looking at your pocketbook?
I mean, if you're wearing it, you know that people are going to look
But
at
I
it.
know that, but you're wearing it for the attention, Dominique. Like
No,
But
there,
see,
promiscuous
that's
is
yeah,
having multiple partners.
but listen,
multi
but listen. I
okay,
understand anybody
go ahead.
has multiple partners, but once again, when you are a woman and you have standards, you're not going to dress that way. You're not going to dress that way. And
But
and let me finish. Let me
go
finish.
ahead. Go ahead.
By having standards, you're not going to dress that way. Okay. You're not going to have just your nipples out and stuff like that. You're basically telling each guy it's okay. Come look at my body. So she may be that type of woman that has a multiple partners because she's okay with revealing her body. Most women are not going to be okay revealing their nipples out like that. That's why they have nipples covers. Would you be okay having your nipples out, Brenda or Dominique?
Yes, I don't have any. I don't have any
Yes.
issue. I don't
Your
have any
nipples
issue.
completely out.
My
Yes.
nipples out, see through in a sheer
Girl,
top. Yes, I don't have no
no,
problem with that. I don't have no problem with
no,
that.
But what about the
I
standard?
don't have any problem with that. And in the
Women
standards, I
have
mean,
our nipples out.
I know what my standards are, and just because I'm
Yes.
wearing something doesn't mean that I'm going home with whatever guy is paying me any mind and paying me any
So let me
attention.
ask the question: what is the point of wearing something like that if you're not trying to get that attention from that guy?
Self beauty.
It's not about the
But
attention
you can have
for
self
me.
by
It's
covering
not
up
the
nipple covers.
Yeah, I mean you can be covered,
Okay, and
but
so
and there are times when I am covered. But if there's an event or a party or something going on in a club, and I really want to just dress sexy to accentuate what
And
I
have a
have and to
see-through
help me
outfit
feel,
showing your
to,
actual nipples.
yeah,
Okay,
I don't see anything, I don't see anything wrong with that. Free
okay.
the nipple. I think that we have to get away from being so ashamed and so
It's not being.
embarrassed.
That's not the thing. It's not being ashamed. It's the standard that you're trying to save your body for whoever you're in a relationship with, or even if you're not in a relationship. I wouldn't want to go out there and have a whole bunch of men looking at my nipples or my pocketbook.
but I mean it's
Well,
women who dress conservative and they're promiscuous.
exactly.
And those
Exactly.
are based on study, those are women that have more multiple partners versus the ones who actually
Okay,
are sexy and
okay.
Right.
show their
But
sexiness.
that's why I said I see it both ways. But like I said, when I look at certain artists, like city girls and stuff like that, how they have their bodies out, that's the image they're trying to attract men. You see what I mean? They're trying to attract a whole lot of men. And in the process of that, they could be sleeping with them. It could be the same way where a businesswoman could be sleeping with a whole bunch of men as well too. But I'm just saying it's it's not obvious, but you're putting yourself out there more for more men to be attracted to you to sleep with you. You're not going to go to Publix with a business suit on and then expect 10 men to go after you. That's not going to happen.
But just because a
I,
man is looking at you and he want to sleep with you
I
doesn't mean that I'm going to sleep with
I
him.
understand that.
I may dress a little sexy sometimes,
Sexy.
but I don't want I'm a prime example.
So
Like I've
you're gonna
always
dress
dressed
having
like
your
this
nipples
and
out,
I'm
but you're
not
not going to take
promiscuous.
nobody home to suck them. Well, that's
I'm
the
not
outfit.
promiscuous. You see what I'm saying? So I'm a prime example.
Now we
Yeah,
can.
I think that's a good example. And yeah, and I was just going to ask Natalie to chime in on that one as well, because when we go out, if we're going out to a spot, and I'll take my birthday party as an example. Everybody was free to wear whatever they wanted to wear within a certain theme. And
Yes.
I just knew for my party I wanted to wear an extra sexy dress. So I had the dress with all the cutouts on it. And when I put it on, I was like, "Ooh." And then I was like, "Ooh." And then I put it on, and my husband was like, "Ooh." He was like, "Okay, okay, I see what you're working with, working with, ma'am. I see it. I see you. You're gonna get a lot of attention tonight." And I was like, I don't really care about the attention. I just wanted to have the experience with wearing that dress, and I wanted pictures in that dress, and I wanted to look good and feel good in that dress. But you saw where I was. I was in the same spot all night, not
And you
not
look
not
good.
not looking at anybody, minding my business, sipping on my champagne, and that's it.
I think it depends on the woman and her experiences with it, because in the past when I was younger, yeah, I wear little stuff, short stuff, high heels, long, tall inches. And my experiences were that men that I did not want looking at me were looking at me. So over time, I just grew to, kind of tone it down. And it's sad that, we have to base what we're wearing on other people, but that's just my level of comfortability with it. So I think it's situational, and it also just depends on the woman, and her personal experiences with it, because there might have been a woman that did that and got grabbed at in a crowd of people. Okay, now she's gonna dumb it down, but that doesn't make it doesn't necessarily correlate with being slutty. It just is just the level of confidence and what you want to do.
Do you think that it's at all indicative of a lack of respect for yourself if you choose to partake in those types of outfits and wear that, even though you're wearing it for yourself, you're doing it for yourself and um, for your own boost of confidence, not because you're trying to attract the attention. But there is a big stigma that seems to be cropping up with people that are like, oh well, she wanted that attention, or she's just doing it for the attention. And what is wrong with just wanting to look good and just wanting to look nice when you've been in sweats and crop tops and fitness gear and workout attire all week long, and now you want to go out and you want to vibe and you want to look good? I don't understand what's wrong with that at all.
Yeah, I don't think it means that she doesn't have respect for herself. I just think it's more so, it's just, it's hard to put a finger on it, honestly, because it could be so many things, you know. I feel like with women, like the same thing they say with, oh, why are you putting that hair in your head, or oh, why are you putting on makeup, or oh, why are you wearing that? It's like women love colors. We love switching it up. We might want a different hairstyle. We might want a different color. We might want to wear these short shorts with the fringe and their booty shorts and some cowboy boots, you know. It's like women, we just do it more so for like the fun in it and the colors and the cute
And
stuff,
the
you know, the
yeah, and
glitter, sparkle, and it's
the
not that.
creativity.
Yeah, I think some people, they just look too deeply into it. They say, "Oh, well, you're wearing weave, so you must hate your hair." No, I just
No.
want to give it a break and, you know, trying something different, but okay. And they say, oh, you must think you're ugly. You're wearing all that makeup. It's like, no, actually, I just like this pink and blue and the way that it looked like. I think some
Yeah.
people, they just look too deeply into it. At the end of the day, everyone should be doing what they feel comfortable, you know, whether that's covering up, showing some ass, like it's your level of comfortability, and go for it. That's why they have the slut walk.
Right. Exactly. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I still think that there's a lot of people that just have a problem with women showing their bodies and being more open with showing their bodies. And now, there's all these mantras and there's sayings, hot girl summer, and okay, city girls are up, and oh, we're out here winning because we out here and we doing all this stuff, and we're attracting men knowing that what we're wearing is going to catch eyeballs. I mean, but the same can be said if you're in the grocery store. I'm in the grocery store and I get a, hey, how you doing? Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Do you mind if I ask you, are you seeing anybody? Are you single, or are you taken? And that could be when I'm in, just coming from the gym and I've just sweated myself out. My hair's in a messy ponytail on
You
top.
could have a
And
corona mask on and they're still gonna
exactly.
try it.
Exactly. So why do I have to cover up to make you feel more comfortable, or to avoid being labeled being promiscuous because I dress sexy on occasion? Now, I'm not, now if I'm going to the grocery store and I'm going, then after that, I know I got to pick my kid up from school. And then I know at 6 o'clock we got a PTA meeting, and I'm going there with my ass out and my boobs out and everything else. Now, that's what I'm talking about, a time and a place. The PTA meeting is not the time and the place for that. However, I will say that I've gone to PTA meetings and there are people that have gone dressed like they are on their way to the club as soon as the PTA meeting is over. Now, I'm not judging them. I'm not sitting here being judgy Judy face and saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's wearing that. If that's what you're confident in, sweetie, and that makes you feel good, then all the more power to you. I just think that the problem is lying within us being labeled for something, and there being an assumption that we're one thing when we're not. So assuming that I'm fast, or assuming that I'm promiscuous because I choose to expose a little something, I think is where the problem lies. And I don't know how we change that, because one of the things that I was reading when I was doing some research, for this topic, was it was questioning whether or not we're putting ourselves in a position to be objectified by men, if we're putting ourselves to be categorized and have to deal with all this misogyny and this male energy and this, all that, all this stuff that's going on with men. And then you have feminists that are saying that we're setting women back, because we're putting ourselves in a position to be objectified by men and not to be respected as a woman, and be looked at as a man's equal, because you don't see men, you might see some, but you don't see most men with the shredded booty shorts and the crop tops on in the clubs. There's a few clubs you go to, you'll see that, but not on an everyday basis. On a regular basis, you hear the talk more about coming from women and what they're doing versus what the men have going on. And again, that's just something that I don't agree with. It's one way for the men, but it's a different way for the women.
That double standard. That double standard.
Yeah, and the same thing I guess would go for men as well, because men, they some of them will dress, kind of sexy too. So
Yeah, that's like saying, well, if you drive a Mustang and you're a hoe, the
exactly.
guys would not
Yeah.
relate to that.
No, sure we're not. Sure we're not. Yeah, I know. I've been out and I've seen some mesh shirts out. I've seen some male nipple shining on through that mesh shirt. They're not worried about nipple covers, but they're not worried about nipples. Period. They can walk around downtown with no shirt
but
on.
but
Right.
they're a man. That's the thing. And as a mother and as a wife, like I wouldn't walk around like that. I'm just saying it's a certain standard that you should hold as first as a mother and a wife. Men are different. That's like saying some studs can walk around with their breasts just hanging out all 24/7. There are some that does that, but it's a certain standard that you should hold
Girl, I almost spit my tea out.
every day.
Hey, Dwayne, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Uh,
it cut off.
Somebody was
Yeah.
calling in, but that's like having titties in your face. Like, if we're okay without having nipple covers at nighttime, let's walk around with nipples out during the daytime. Let's walk around with our pussies out in the daytime. Since people want to start saying that, I'm just saying,
Well,
like,
I mean, if
you
I don't if
know,
I don't have to if I don't have to put a bra on during
I,
the day, then I
I
really am not
I
trying to
don't,
put
but
on a
see, I
bra.
don't like wearing bras, but I have like tank tops or halter. I don't have my actual like nipple out where you can see the actual nipple. Like, come on now, like, really? I'm just saying, like, we already know what body parts we have, but do we have to flaunt them off like that? Like, for instance, I had a
But I'm not.
see-through
But
at
it's
Brenda. I had
go
a
ahead.
see-through dress at your birthday party, but I had
Yeah.
something underneath it. I was like, I'm
Yes,
not
you
gonna go here with
did.
my
okay, Edwina, I totally understand your point of view, but I think we're missing something here. And the topic is, does sexy means that you're promiscuous?
Promiscuous. Yep.
So I get what you're saying. There is a time and place for everything. I totally get that. But do we actually believe that sexy people who likes to dress, in a sexy way, sleep with a lot of people?
Yeah, that is the question. That is the debate. And I happen to believe that that's not the case. I don't think that just because you dress in a sexy way or a sexy fashion, I don't think that that equates to you being fast or having a lot of sexual partners, or you're easily able to be taken home, by someone, and, be going home and getting it on with this one on Thursday, this one on Friday, another one on Saturday, and then Sunday, and then the saga continues. And then next time you're getting together with your girlfriend, you got, 10 more bodies added to your count. I mean,
Uh-huh.
there are people that are out here and are living that kind of lifestyle. And if that's what they want to do, I mean, that's their choice. I just hope that they're making smart decisions and they're being precautious with it. Not only are they being sexy and then also being promiscuous, but I hope they're being precautious and being protected if you're going to be out here doing it like that.
Mhm.
I have the problem where it's an automatic label. You're automatically stamped as being promiscuous if you're out, and if you dress sexy. So if I was to go out and I went out and I wore the dress that I wore for my birthday, if I wore it and my husband wasn't there, he's gonna see me before I leave the house. He's gonna know what I have on. And there's plenty of times when I've gone out and he's like, "Oh, you look great." He's like, "Have fun, chasing all these guys off of you." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, knock it off. I ain't thinking about none of them." But that really is my mindset. I'm not thinking about none of them. I'm not interested in seeing how many numbers I can get or who wants to buy me a drink or this, that, whatever. I'm going out to have fun. I'm going out to have fun. I'm going out because I want to look good and help me feel good. My hair's done, my makeup's on point. Like that's it. It's
Yeah,
nothing. It's nothing more than that. It's not me on the prowl. I'm not on the hunt for sex just because I'm dressing in a sexy fashion.
for someone to buy you a drink, you got your own money.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And then you see
Exactly.
all these public, the artists and stuff, and the women and how they dress and stuff like that. I mean, it's not a problem when they do it. And I feel like their options even get tinier,
Right.
especially when you're in a public eye
Yeah.
and you're dressing that way. So,
Yeah, there's always an exception to every rule. Like,
mhm.
it doesn't necessarily correlate, but there's always going to be some that are dressing sexy that are out here getting wild, and there are some that are covered up that are getting wild. There's some that are covered up that are not, and there's some that are dressing sexy that are not. So it's just like people got to get that out of their head and just grow up. Because I mean, it can bring unwanted things, but you just have to know how to fend that off. Like Brenna said, if she's not interested in that, you got to be interested too. It can't
Right. It
just be
takes
one
two.
sided. Yeah.
Yep, it definitely takes two. And if you're not interested, then that is the message that you should be giving when someone is trying to make their approach or whatever they're trying to do to you. No, thank you. Oh, no, I'm good. Oh, can I buy you a drink? No, I'm good. I got it. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like we know how to say no.
Yep, yep.
It's still
But
your choice, whatever you do.
of
You know,
course.
a man can compliment you with clothes, without clothes, and but it's still your choice.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely is our choice. And I'm going to circle back to talking about whether or not us dressing sexy, if that's putting us in a position to be objectified by men, because they watch they're looking at these videos, they're looking at these shows, they're looking at what's on TV, they're seeing what these women are wearing, they're seeing all this nakedness and half-assed dressedness on these television shows and reality shows and everything else. And I think that it's almost like their mentality is this is how women are supposed to be dressing, or this is how women should be dressing, or this is how women are starting to dress now because it's become more acceptable and now it is more on mainstream TV. It's not just reserved for the music videos and the rap videos and things like that. It's everyday life. You walk into Lenox Mall and you see some uh leggings with the sides all cut out and crop tops and stuff with cutouts and sides and everything else, all exposed. And I'm talking about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the place you go when you want to be seen, and you dress in a certain way because you think you might run into somebody there and you might be seen by somebody somewhere. But is it putting yourself in a position to be objectified because you're dressing that way? I think that the objectification really falls on the part of the man. Like a man should have an understanding that just because he can lay his eyeballs on it doesn't mean that he can lay his hands on it or any other parts of his body on it. And that's part of the issue I think that exists, is that the feminists are crying out that we're setting them back by putting ourselves in positions to let men objectify us.
That's a good point right there. If
But that would be the men's choice, you see.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, that doesn't make her an object, you see. That's his choice that he's thinking like that, and he got his mind wrapped around like that. It's not the woman that's making him think that.
Right. Absolutely.
Just my opinion.
Absolutely. So, do you think that there's certain measures that you should put in place? I mean, obviously, you know what your boundaries are and you know what your limits are, you know what you're comfortable in and you know what you're not comfortable in. Do you have to, as Natalie said earlier, do you have to dumb down your outfit or what you're going to put on just to avoid unwanted attention? Is that what we should be doing, or are we just supposed to live our best life, honey, and everything else will just come together as it's going to come together? Because, like I said, I'm not dressing for somebody else. I'm not dressing for the man across the street and the
Right.
Amazon delivery guy to come to my house and see me looking all fine, fine. That's not why I'm doing it. I don't need the attention.
No, I don't think women should dump their outfits down because for this example, and I know this is a totally different topic, but you may be married to somebody, and this is what I was talking about the other day on Facebook. You may be married to somebody. You may want your wife to wear a turtleneck, not show anything, wear her hair in a bun and everything, but you out there looking at other women and cheating with other women who look sexy. You see what I'm saying? But some men like, oh, I don't like sexy women. I don't like women who show their body and this and no, I feel like wear what makes you happy, makes you comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because men definitely do make these statements like, with the makeup and with the nails and with the hair. Like, why do you have to do all that? All that's not necessary. I like my women to be natural. But he'd be the first one you find out he cheating and it's with somebody. She got on 26 inches. She got
Okay.
on the tightest of tight outfits. Her nails are, she can't do nothing with them. They look like they stilettos, like for real, about to stab somebody, but how long they are. I don't know how you get your housework and your cleaning and your cooking done with your nails that long, along with all the other things that he said that he didn't like. So it's like, are you trying to go for a conservative woman? Do you want a conservative woman at home because you don't want her to be looked at by other men because you are a man that's out there looking? I think a lot of times things come from that. When you have a really strong reaction to something, usually it's from a problem that you have within yourself, not with the problem that somebody else is doing. If you've known me for X number of years and you know that every once in a while when we are going to go out, I call it ratchet it up a little bit. I'm a step a little bit outside the box and go a little sexier than I usually do. And don't get me wrong, you can be classy and you can be just as sexy as classy as you can be when showing skin and you've got cutouts and mesh and see-through and all of that. But if your man is telling you that he prefers you not to dress that way, but he's oogling and liking all these pics on social media and he finds himself in a situation where he starts getting himself involved with a woman that is her everyday usual norm of level of sexiness and not being conservative, it's like, what's wrong with me doing it? If you have a problem with it and you're telling me that's not what you want, but here you are over here with Sally Sue and she got all her stuff out, all of her business is out, her pocketbook is showing and everything.
Or don't post those type of pictures on social media. Don't show your body on social media, but you're liking pictures of women like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a double standard.
Exactly.
It's like,
It is.
which one is it?
Right. It is a double standard.
Yeah, that's not right. And then it'd be like, dang, she's the complete opposite of me. Like, hold on, how do you
Right.
which one do you what do you like?
Right.
I'm just saying,
That is true.
women, you don't have to, you know, you dress whatever make you feel comfortable. And you don't have to listen. If a man is gonna want you and he's gonna love you, he gonna love you for how you look, right?
Absolutely. He absolutely is. It's not an outfit in the world that's going to make a man fall in love with you. Not an
Yep.
outfit in the world, not a sewing or a weave or a wig in the world, not a $250 nail job. None of that is going to make a man love you. He's going to love you for who you are, for real. And it's not going to matter what your outfit is that you have on. And if he really is supportive, of you, he gonna be your biggest cheerleader. He gonna love when you look good. He's gonna enjoy that because he's gonna be like, yeah, that's my other half. That's my partner right there. Yeah, does she look good, don't she? Instead
And
of
you
it being
know
the other.
what, Brenda? Now that you brought that up, it's some man out here, some, I'm not going to say all, look at Natalie, but some man, they, like I said, they get their women to a point where they don't want them to dress too revealing and stuff like that. But when you go out and you notice that nobody is really kind of, she doesn't draw that much attention, then they get kind of iffy.
Yeah.
But then there's some men who like if their women go out and they expressing their confidence and their sexiness, and people are looking at them and wanting them, then they feel like it's some type of ego thing.
Right.
Yeah, I think that has to do with the man's confidence. Because if he's insecure, he's not going to want nobody looking at you because he might lose you to the next man. But if he knows that y'all have that bond and it's like, yeah, that's mine, and he's confident that she's not going anywhere, then he knows he doesn't have anything to worry about.
Exactly.
But it's really on him. And if you know you're doing the right things, you shouldn't have to be worried. But if you know you're a fuck nigga, then, sir, she might go. And whose fault is that? Tragic.
Sad. Yeah, that's it for me.
Good show. Lots of different perspectives on that one. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's great again that we're having these conversations and we're talking about these things and bringing them to the forefront and bringing them to the table. And I think it's important that everyone gets an understanding that, just because it's don't judge a book by its cover. That's the best scenario I can come up with right now because just because you see me and maybe you saw my pictures posted up from when I was on vacation and I was in Miami, and yeah, I was in my bikini, but it was a couple's trip or it was a girls trip. I wasn't with my children. There were no children, there on the vacation with us. I'm able to dress as freely and as sexily as I want to, but that doesn't mean that I'm fast, and it doesn't mean that I'm promiscuous. And those are derogatory terms. And I just think it's time that we stop using these derogatory terms and putting women down for dressing a certain way when half of the men out here, if it was up to them, I mean, they'd spend all day scrolling social media, liking pics and looking at this one with her butt out and this one with the boobs out and this one with everything out and this, that, and the other thing. So it just, we got to make it make sense. But for the message that I'm trying to convey is I dress a certain way and I do things a certain way for me. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to get attention from other men. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to get other attention from other women. I'm doing it just because it makes me feel good about me, and I feel good about myself when I've pulled it together and gotten the hair done, makeup done, and got a nice dress to go hit the town on and have a good time. And that's what you should do. You've got one life to live. I don't see why you have to dress like you're in, 1872 on Little House on the Prairie. Those days are over. Women can wear pants now. We can wear pants
Okay,
now.
I got my final thought. I
Go ahead.
dress the way I dress because it makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel beautiful. It's just me. Not because I'm trying to have sex with no.
Right.
It's for Dominique.
And you look good doing it too, girl. You look mighty fine doing it.
Whoop, whoop.
Everybody does.
That's
Everybody.
my message.
Everybody looks good doing it. Adrena, what's your message? What's your takeaway for tonight? Adrena? Did we lose Adrena?
I don't know. Nat.
Mine is just do you, boo, because they gonna have something to say regardless.
Yeah, they do.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do you, boo.
Look how they talked about that lady. What's her name? With that guy, Brenda. What was his name?
Which
Ooh.
When
one?
she got on social media, she was trying to defend her husband from cheating.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I can't
And she
remember.
had like a rap and everything, like, and they still talked about her.
Oh,
She wasn't showing.
Tabitha.
Yeah, she wasn't showing nothing. So
Yeah,
what that just goes to show that whatever you're doing, people gonna talk anyway. So just do what you want to do.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Peace
Absolutely.
out.
Well, it was a great episode, ladies. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got another episode coming up next week. It looks like Edwina is popping back in. I guess she wants to give her closing thoughts, so we'll go ahead and let her do that. I thought she was here. Edwina, are you here?
I'm
She's right
here.
here.
I don't know what's going on with my phone. See, y'all told me to switch to an iPhone and this thing
Uh,
freezes on me and don't act right. And man, trying to keep up with the latest phones. I need to stop. Um, yeah, but good show, ladies. Good show. Um, like I said earlier, about women having their stuffs out, I always go back to I was raised different. You know, I was the one that was raised like the little house on the prairie wearing long skirts and no makeup and no weave because, my background is Pentecostal. So I tend to go back to that. But
Hmm.
like you said, the conversation is not about, how they dress. It's if they're having sex with multiple partners. And we should not judge women by the way they dress. It's just a habit of knowing if they dress a certain way we think they're automatically going to do something because they're okay with having their uh chest out or their stuff out.
Right.
So we do have to get out that mindset, but um at the end of the day, if they're grown, you do you, stay safe, just make sure you make a good decision at the end of the day. That's all I can say.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's right.
strap up.
All right, ladies. Until next week, we shall talk again. We've got a great topic to talk about next week. I can't wait to get into it. Dominique, when it's your go as moderator of the show. Everybody, thanks so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure you are joined and linked up with us on the Facebook page. You're following our Instagram and also following our YouTube so you don't miss any updates and you're able to stay in touch with us, connect with us, and all that good stuff. So,
All right.
peace out.
Bye,
Bye,
ladies.
Bye,
ladies.
y'all. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye. Good night.